Hello, and welcome to this quick demo of some LISA WMS new features. Today, we will make an overview of some new features using a simple sales order issued from SAP Business One. As you may know, LISA WMS is now a web-based application divided into tools. LISA Web, being what you see at the moment, that is used for the managerials, and LISA Mobile, that will refer to the version used on mobile scan. A new feature in LISA Web is the capability to export most of the search grid results in Excel or PDF. To demonstrate it, let's take a look at the inventory list. So if we search the inventory list, we can now have the export button to export in either Excel or PDF file. Now, as I created a sales order and I want this task to be available in LISA Mobile, I need to release it from LISA Web. Let's do this together. And here we can search for all the unreleased sales order. Let's search for the one that I created for this purpose, which is the 417. This order contains only one line of an item of 200. So let's release this order. So now the order will be available somewhere in here, and we need to save. Once this is done, we can move back to LISA Mobile. Here you see the new enhanced mode of LISA Mobile. This is a new responsive application that will allow the user to navigate more easily in the application. As it's a sales order, it's a process that will go out of the warehouse, so it will be found in the outbound. So we can now come and pick the order. You can now select the zone, which will go unit, and then we assign on which picking license plate are we going to pick the items. And then the system will tell me where to go pick. So I can either type it in or scan the barcodes, obviously. Now I need to confirm the item and the quantity that I need to pick. Now, as this order has been picked, I know that I can do some replenishment for this item. The replenishment process used to be manually driven with the use of a report. The newest LISA version offers now a directed replenishment. This process is found in the internal menu and is divided into sub-processes. There's the letdown, which allows to take the pallets from the stockage area and bring them down on the floor, and the fill bin, which allows to take those items and fill the picking location. Let's make an example. If we go into the letdown process, we can select the zone from where we want to take the items, so from the overstock zone in that case. And then we need to specify on which replenishment license are we placing those items. Then the system will tell you in which parent location and which pallet you need to take down. And you need to confirm the item. And the system will tell you how many do you need to bring down to fill the demand. Once this step is completed, we can quit and then go into the fill bin process. We need to specify which replenishment license are we taking, and then we'll specify where do we want to go put those items. And the system will tell you in which location you need to go to fill the items. And that's it. Put away is completed, and the replenishment process for this item has been completed. As we are in the internal processes, something new and very interesting is in the inventory adjustment. Now, there's the capability for the user to specify in a specific bin, an inventory adjustment, and make it LISA only. Why? This is very useful when there's discrepancies between SAP and LISA. It can allow the user to put back the inventory on the same level as SAP and then bring it up or down to the proper inventory level in both systems at once. Another thing interesting in LISA Mobile is now the capability to have label by partner. When we go into the gear here, we got the reports library and the default reports. If we take a look at the reports library, that's where we're gonna specify all the reports that can be used in the application. Let's take the example of the close ticket. We got the generic one and we got a test one. Those two are used as close tickets and they are in the reports library. If we go take a look at the default reports, we can see that we specify for all customers some close tickets, which is the generic one. And that if we look back, and if we go back to the default reports and take a look at one specified for a specific customer, we see that this report is the test one. So that means that for this specific customer, when the system will want to print a close ticket, it's going to print the test one and not the generic one. Label by partner can be defined for all those specific reports that are being printed out of the system. In the shipping process, there's also a new feature that allows to have consolidated bill of lading. If we ship two different orders, typically we should need to specify a bill of lading for each of them. Now we can decide to have a bill of lading that's going to be called something like this. We load all and ship this one. And we can decide to ship a second order with the same bill of lading number, load everything and ship. Now what happens is that we can come afterwards and print out a new bill of lading. These are the separate packing slips that prints out, and we can come and specify here which bill of lading do we want to print out. And this one's going to be printed with both orders consolidated on one. So we'll have all the information relative to both orders. So we get the two different orders and the two different items all consolidated on one bill of lading. RMA are now easily managed by using the new documents from the SAP 9.3 version. In SAP, we can now find return requests in sales and purchasing. Let's make an example. We created this return request document from the sales tab based on the sales order 417 and the delivery that we made 419. We'll return 5 units of the item A04. In LISA, we can come in the Manage RMA tab and come to Receive the Customer RMA. This will allow us to enter the RMA document that has been generated in SAP and receive those items, the 5 of item A04, in the warehouse, and then we save. This creates the RMA documents from LISA, and in SAP, it closes the return request and returns from the relationship map. We can find the return that has been created here. Another new feature concerns the parameters of the cycle count. There is 2 new cycle count modes. The first one is the counting group. This one allows configuring a number of days before a recount is needed within a given group and assigning these groups to each product as required. And there's the priority for fast movers. This option allows working with smaller datasets for counting items. focusing on what has been moving around the most recently. One last thing to show is the new End Monitor Web. Now the services that runs between SAP and LISA are Windows services. And this new tool, web-based, will help you track all the transactions between the systems. You can see here what are the pending, the untreated, or the transactions in error. It also allows you to get into specific services and see what are the transactions that are in issue. And you can also get more information on the Help Me tab here that will help you resolve the issue so that the transaction can flow. So this is really helpful, much more convenient for the users to understand what are the errors for the transactions that are in problem. To conclude, there would be much more to show as new features, but here's a list that shows some other things that I couldn't show in this short video. If you want to know more about those new features, feel free to ask any expert at Anywhere. We'll be pleased to provide you all the answers related to LISA WMS new features. Thank you.